To it with grinder to just look a bit better. Not terrible. There's an hole in the back of this sill on this side, which it is. That exhaust hangs down far too low. Rear springs look like BMW. It's said that the suspension is very similar to a BMW 5 Series, like of the same era. So if the suspension setup's the same, rear springs, fronts, that means I can get coilovers a bit easier because I can Carlos Fandango wheels on it. Look for the nearest chicken coop, I think. Lovely. Gosh, twin cam, 2 litres. Oil smells like it hasn't been changed. Hunts when it's raining for some reason. It hunts when you pull over, so there's got to be a sensor what's getting wet, which everything under here is wet. That's not holding any moisture. But it's the EFIs. Needs a rock cover gasket. Which should push an electric. And then yeah, throttle position sensor. That's a funny place to have one, isn't it? Mine on the V6, which is exactly the same as that, is straight off the side of the thingamajigger. An aircon. Is this an aircon car? I didn't think it had aircon. What's an aircon, lad? Where is the button? D. Oh, what a good car. Excellent. It's a bit worse than I thought. For some reason there was a lot of soil and stuff here. Well, that's not rust, that's soil. So that's what's rotted. There's a hell of a lot of soil to fail. Look at this. So that's rotted from the inside out basically. Because this is a bit scabby here. That's what I'm thinking. They've seam sealed it to death as well, which is not a bad thing. Cut that off. I might have to jack it up, take this wheel off if I can find the locker, and take the inner arch out so I can have a look what's behind this part here. Which if that's right, that means I've got to take all the carpet out. I have got to take the carpet out, especially here, because if I open the door and I put my hand in this hole here, I push the carpet up. Completely fantastic. New one this seal. I think it's the original one. Yeah, they coated it on very well back in the day for this. I never even thought about a few lines of brake lines. What do they look like? Oh no! Brakes, which I can see right over there, and it wants new brakes on the front because they're diabolical. None on the back. No, the disc on the back. The back ones look just as good. Probably brakes and brake lines, but looking at that one or just that one, they don't look bad from there. But when it comes up like from here up, it looks terrible, if I'm honest. Hopefully this side will be built up. Everybody who knows me actually takes the actual mick out of me, because I won't buy a car if it's not rusty, doesn't run, or if it doesn't need something. If I went out and bought a nice Granada, say, and did all this, everyone would be like, oh, you can't do that, it's a classic now. No, I bought a bad one. Well, not a bad one. Well, not a bad one. but one that needed work, but it was either me buy it or the Banger Racing lads buy it, and it gets absolutely destroyed. And by the looks of it now, it probably could have done with a bit of that, just to teach it a lesson to being so rusty. That's the dusty.
Eat it.
We will proceed. And now there's carpet there. And I guarantee if you go inside the car, you will see my finger poking up the carpet. That means I've got to strip interior out. And all sorts. We've got a lot of chopping to do. It's had quarters in it, because this whole quarter's been painted. You're on, yeah. So, but it's bubbling again. I need to take this off. That needs catching now, before that gets any worse. Oh, and the trim piece on the window. Why? Looks like it's swelled up. That's swelled up that much. It has actually pushed the seal on. So I might need a new, not this part, but the inner part what stops the water from. That's probably why that's rusted. It was MOT'd, it's just run out. But yeah, it's this bit I'm more concerned about, which is the floor, because that seems quite bad, and I don't know where it stops as it keeps going. So I might have to repair that section, and the floors out and do it from the inside before I do any of this bit under here. I need to tear it out, because it will catch fire without close-up installations. Yeah, it is different to what that one is. Get the sill stitched back onto there. Then I can start on the floor, which I'll probably do all that from the inside. It's not a decent one. Not buying the car in the dark while it's raining from Liverpool. Well, the carpet looks better for being down, rather than holes. But it's been welded, not professionally. I'm not a professional welder. It's got no holes there, and well, I've actually etch primed everything, as in like rust protection. Then I have seam sealed it, and then I have painted it with some it's in the garage, I can't remember what it's called. And I did that on the inside, and then what I've done on the outside, I've done the same, and then I've run some Schultz over it, over the top. Now, I know everybody says Schultz is bad, and yes it is. I've had cars in the past where I've Schultzed them and it's trapped the moisture behind it. But what I've done here is, like I say, I've like zinc primed it, or etch primed it, so rust protection. Then I've gone over it with some other underbody sealant, but it's not Schultz, it's just like a black paint, like a protector that's anti-rust, and then I've Schultzed over the top underneath. So hopefully this shouldn't come back through, and the only reason why I do that is because it looks very factory when you spray it on. Leaves a nice finish. So yes, it doesn't look like I've welded it. rides my waltz. Yeah? Lovely. Trying to make it mint, just trying to make it roadworthy, presentable. That's another genuine MOT. This side, I'll eat my words again, this side's not too bad, folks. That side's terrible, but this side's not too bad. I don't have to strip any of this down on the inside, I don't think anyway. I've got to that inner arch liner out and see what extent that goes up into there. I think I'm going to try and buy, it's not expensive, a quarter panel, and then just take off what I need. The only thing I don't like, which I hate doing their petrol caps or anything like that. Yeah, it's a big no-no for me. Because I do like to set things on fire. That's we once had before, well maybe a couple of times. We had a Seat Inca van, which Tammy used to use for delivering parcels many years ago, and bought it and I welded it. I was welding the sill. When I opened the door, the whole cab was on fire. And my granddad had just stood on the drive, and I can remember him saying, "What don't you set it on fire?" As I'm running it back trying to get something to put it out, hose pipe, water. Managed to put it out, and we did repair it, but messing about with wires what had burnt through, which was just literally joined back together. Not properly, by the way, just twisting the tape. I was wanting with them. Not much has changed. So hopefully this one doesn't. I thought it did earlier. That's why that panel had been ripped off on that corner, because there was loads of smoke coming from behind the dash. So I thought it's gone up into the behind the door and up past the thing into the car. There was a lot of smoke, but if you see the picture, I'm sure Tammy will add it in. There was a lot of expanding foam in the front of the sill, which I got in as much as I can, and I've got it all of it out, hoping. A couple of years time, maybe in 2 years, these sills want cutting off, ideally. Cutting off, inners and outers, doing properly. If you was going to make it in, I just wanted to run a drive, I keep on top of it. This is going to be my everyday, daily driver. It's got all the optional extras from what a modern car's got, if not more. It's got heated seats, electric seats, power steering. It's an automatic, which suits me. It has got air conditioning. It's got electric everything, really. And it all works. I don't know about the aircon, but everything else works. Just spotted this, which I'll have to grind down or wire wheel or something, because I don't want to take this seal off ideally. Even though it's probably behind that. What happens is moisture traps behind that, and obviously it's holding it right there, but I have got some rust treatment in there, so I'll quickly go over that, rust treat it, put some primer on, a little brush or something, just something just to slow it down. You never, without actually going through the car properly. Again, I bought it in the dark, raining, miles away from home, and I caught the train. So I work full time, and where I was working, which was close to Liverpool, I caught the train from where I was working to Liverpool, and then I drove this 110 mile home, I think it was, through the Peak District. So I just wanted to get home. I didn't get home till late, and then I was back up again at 4:30 in the morning to go back to work. So yeah, I just wanted to get home, so I just bought it. Was the guy honest? Yeah, to a certain degree. As I've probably said before in the video, his MOT was very friendly. It'll get sorted. It will go through a genuine MOT. And if there's anything else, I'll just have to do it. End of the day, we've got a young daughter, and she will be going in this car. There's local shows and stuff what we go to. I go to Centre Pod quite a lot every year, well, once, twice a year should I say, but we do a lot of other shows. So this will be either this or Tammy's daily driver. We'll be going, and then once this is on the road and done and nice and
how I want it. We'll move on to either that vehicle, or I have got another vehicle that is in storage, and but the other car what I've got, that should be a couple of weeks, that'll be done. That's got a lot more work to be done. We'll talk about that further in the chat. Yeah.
Right, so it's been for its MOT and it failed. Brake line burst on the actual MOT ramp. Like brake pads, which I said the brakes didn't look great, he's advised the discs. I think I am going to change all the disc and pads and try and get it for an MOT just as it is. So I will do another order of parts, disc pads and brakes anyway. But firstly, and there was a bit of welding as well. And another unexpected one was power steering leak. So I need to figure out what I'm going to do with that, whether I take the whole line off for the power steering and either have it made, because they're ridiculous prices for these for some unknown reason, or have it repaired, or if I can flare the engine though it's steel and then just put a bit of rubber pipe with 2 Jubilees on. I have done that in the past with a gearbox on the automatic Dodge. What we owned and did, and it did work, never leaked. So I've just done the welding what was missed on this side at the front, which MOT have found. It's checked everywhere else. There's a few advisories, but it's not too bad. It's not as bad as what I thought it was going to be, as in fail wise. So yes, this side's been welded, that side's been welded, all the welding's done now. That rear quarter has been welded, and steel in there, it has been filled, and it's ready for sanding and some paint. All this is done, obviously we'll get it for an MOT. We'll probably move on to suspension and stuff like that. I have bought a service kit, but GSF hasn't gave me everything. It is what it is. We'll get them next week. Monday, Tuesday next week. Yeah, get this sorted, get this Schultz now. I've actually welded it, zinc primed it, etch primed it, whichever you want to call it, you know, to protect it. It's rust resistant. I've seam sealed it with some black seam sealer what I bought, and now I'm going to Schultz it, same as the other side, so it looks like it was never done. And yeah, perfect.
All its fluid out. So back onto the Granada. I've fixed the power steering lead, which I don't know if you can see down there. So that pipe there, what you see with that, what looks like a bird poo on it, that had a hole in the. So what I did was I tried flaring the pipe for a bit, but it's a high pressure line, and what you have to do is have a new one made. Now there is a company near me what would make one, but they're not open today, and I want to take the car back for a retest. Done everything on there. I just need to make a battery clamp, but that was an advisory. Number plates, there was an advisory, but I want some new ones anyway. The wheels are on, and the tyres, they do look a bit large. I'm hoping when I lower the car it will look better, hoping. If not, we'll change the wheels, and them wheels what I've got on it now will go on Tammy's vehicle with wobble bolts. I won't show you the wheels as yet. So at the minute I'm just doing serviceable items. So I've just done the air filter. it's nothing interesting, it's probably boring to some. So I've done the air filter, I'm just working on the spark plugs at the moment. So if you look down there, there's two side by side, which is quite odd. And same again in there, side by side. So, sorry the camera's just turned around, I'll turn it back now. We'll work on getting these spark plugs out and replacing them for them. We'll check them and check the gaps on them to make sure there's something right. Hopefully the power steering's stopped leaking now. I've got to take the front casing off the engine and the sump after the MOT because it has got an oil leak and the rock cover gasket, and then hopefully then it's everything's and there's no more leaks, hopefully. The back brakes have been done. That was an absolute nightmare. Again, trying not to show. So you can see the new line there and the new flexi. Looks of it, there's no leaks, which is good. The brakes have been bled up. Rear pads as well, it does want discs. It was an advisory, but again, I just want to get it through the MOT for now, and then we'll go into depth with it once I've drove it a bit and got used to it and make sure it's all right, the car. Hopefully I'll get everything done for the MOT. I'll service it now and I'll come back to you once the plugs are fitted. So the plugs are fitted. Again, it's just the reverse of taking them out, putting them back in. Just make sure that the gaps are right. I'll show you in a sec on these plugs that I've taken out. I like to keep my plugs in order when I take them out, for the reason being it doesn't matter, I just like to read them, because if one plug's got slightly more oil on than another, you know, obviously there's something wrong with that cylinder. I've noticed on one of my plugs, it looks like it's one of the HT leads are a bit, yeah, a bit funky, so I might have to buy some leads because that doesn't look like it's been making a good connection. The other thing to look out for is when you take the plugs out, I've took Bosch plugs out. What I put in are NGK. It's not a problem or anything like that. All I like to look for is the numbers. So this is a Bosch plug what I've taken out, and it's an R6. You want to check, put them side by side, check obviously if this focuses, yeah, check your distance on your thread, and again check your gaps, make sure they're not squashed down or anything like that. I know it's nothing exciting, but I'm going to try and read these plugs. Again, I'm not 100% on them, and I should read them, but I'll give this one a go. So, this would be cylinder 1, the very first cylinder. Now, yes, they do look like they are burnt or black, over fueling. But you've got to remember, this car has done a lot of cold starts and not been run up to temperature or anything like that while it's been here. I did drive it back from Liverpool, which again was 120 miles, but since then it hasn't really been anywhere. It's obviously been on the drive, been for an MOT and come back. It's not had a chance to properly warm up apart from when it was on the MOT ramp. So, as I've always been told, you want to like a nice brown colour on here, like a bourbon brown, bourbon biscuit brown, that's the best way I could describe it. These are all very sooty and everything, but again, that's from cold starts. But luckily, none of them have any oil build-up or anything like that, or residue, so we know that the rings are alright. I think the valve stem seals are a bit meh, but it's only on first start-up. I'm not so worried about that, but yeah, as soon as the car's had a really good run, hopefully, and not as many cold starts, once it starts getting used, it shouldn't be sooting up or over fueling. Obviously it takes more fuel on cold starts, so, and obviously it's not getting up to temperature, it's doing more cold starts than actual proper cycles, if that makes sense. But yeah, this is with the plug, what I was saying, doesn't look great on this tip, doesn't look like it's been making a good connection. So I've either got a problem with the HT lead or a problem with this plug. But again, we'll get the car through an MOT and we'll check everything over. I need to take, I'm going to do the fuel filter next. I'm not going to do the oil or the oil filter, for the reason being, as soon as the car's been for an MOT, I would like to take the sump off and so we can sort out the oil leaks, which it has. So yeah. So moving on to the fuel filter, I'll just go underneath the car. Now, I've done this before in the past, and I'm sure some of you have. If you do mess about with cars, I've taken the fuel filter off and messed about, and some of them are situated underneath the car. Now, if they've not been off in a while, the actual fittings what screw in will snap. I've had it before and I've rushed to get it off, and without even checking to make sure the new fuel filter's the correct one for the car, and I've been stuck because it's the wrong filter what they've sent me. So what I like to do is, and especially where this is situated on this car, and I can tell it's not been changed in a while with just looking at it. Underneath the car there is the fuel filter. So looking at this, it is the correct one they've sent me, as you can see. So that is correct. So luckily I can change that one. Now everything on this looks crusty and horrible, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to soak it down with some WD-40. I'm going to try and crack these off before even attempt to drop it down. If they don't come loose, I'm going to leave it, because I don't want to be chasing lines or anything like that. And then yeah, we'll go from there with it. So I managed to get the filter off. Yes, I did get fuel in my armpit and in my eyes. It hurt. I opted to put these safety squints on. Instead of that, I did that, and then I did that as well. So double safety squints. So we know obviously which way round it goes. I just need to take this bracket off, swap it over to that. Make sure when you put it back on the car that the copper washers are still on the car. Press up to there and not stuck on either end of this, which are not. So they're either on the floor or they're still on the bolts, unions, whatever, on the car. So we'll take this bracket off, swap it over to that, and then come back to you. Simple as that. Undo it, don't have to do it all the way. Just so it slides off the front, slide it onto this. Again, it doesn't matter which way round you put this. Get this bolted back up, put the lines on. Again, make sure the copper washers are on. Cycle the key a couple of times to fill the filter up, and then go for a big start. And while I'm still here, check for leaks. The last thing you want is fuel leaking. So that's the fuel filter fitted. I did mention about the copper washers not losing them. Well, one fell out, I couldn't find it, so I tried another one. It wasn't small enough, so it did leak. So I dropped the car back down, looked everywhere, and it just fell on top of the drive shaft. So I took it all back to bits, done it, and the car's running. It's not. That's not leaking anymore. Yes, it's a horrible weld, but at least I didn't have to buy a new one. And this is what I'm talking about. From underneath, it's absolutely gushing oil out there. So I need to take the front cover off. Right, while we're waiting for parts for the Granada, excuse me, we're going to have a little chat about this vehicle. Now, I've had this vehicle for a long time now. It's a late 1960s Sunbeam Alpine. It did used to be original a long time ago, but it is a V6 converted vehicle. So a lot of the work has been done by a friend of mine. Tunnel has been modified to fit a 6-speed RX-8 gearbox, which is obviously there. There is still some modification to get the slave master, that's master, that's slave, I think, all the way around. Anyway, yes, to get that to situate and sit in the right place when the engine's in. So it has been modified underneath for this gearbox, as in it's had some brackets welded. So underneath it, we call it crucifix. That's what they call underneath. That's like an X-frame underneath. If I find a picture one, I'll put one in. Well, on the sides of the X-frame where it comes through, Mr. Beanhead has welded some brackets on, some bolts on, so I can take on and off the engine mount. It has a Citroen Saxo or Peugeot 106 gearbox mount rubber, which fits perfectly round this RX-8 gearbox, which it has had some bits cut out, but we didn't need, as has the starter motor, which we'll get onto a bit later. So, Beanhead has done the tunnel. He has done the gearbox mounts. These are Land Rover V8 mounts. Custom made engine mounts. Original subframe. Now these vehicles are originally on steering box. The box is normally situated here, I believe, and then there's a big rod that goes across and goes down to track rod ends and whatever else. So because we have run V6, a lot of people put the 2.8 V6s in these, or I've seen a 3 litre Essex in one, I believe it was. Mine is an actual 2.9 V6 clone injection, well, was. So there is another guy local to us which has one of these, and he's got a V6 2.9 in his. So yes, it has been done before. Mine's slightly different. I've not seen anybody run one of these gearboxes, one of them engines in one of these. Obviously you can get these in a V8, which is called a Tiger, but they're a lot more expensive. So anyway, so Range Rover gear engine mounts. This subframe has all been custom built. So it's original Sunbeam Alpine subframe. Every part here, apart from the rack, has been made. So this subframe has been cut, opened up on these corners here. It's had loads of strength put into it. These brackets and everything made. These all been custom made. These caps on top are for this rack. So this is an MGC rack, I believe it is. A lot of people know when they're doing Tiger conversions or something like that, they will use them. Now, the templates, what we used, we got off a good friend of ours, Mr. Mogg, and he kindly borrowed them me. And Beanhead obviously made put them in, did all the subframe. So the engine actually has been in, gearbox, the drive shaft has been made. So I'm using obviously the RX-8 tail housing and the Sunbeam Alpine rear half of the shaft. So it has got the standard rear axle under it. It is a non-overdrive vehicle, this one, so it's got a better ratio rear diff. I've got another diff complete setup axle in one of my sheds at the back, and it has been completely rebuilt, literally everything inside, brakes, everything. So I will run this one. I know this one's works. I've used this car, as I've said before, and it had this axle under it. So we're going to leave that one under, and probably in the future I might run a scimitar axle or something similar if I can get hold of a Tiger one. Very expensive, but again, I know it'll just bolt straight under. And there is a possibility, depending what it drives like and how much I use it, I might actually go for a 4-link setup on the back of this. But that's something in the future. There's a lot more to do yet. I just want to get this car done, running and driving again, so I can actually use it. So like I said before, it's a V6 engine, 2.9 Cologne. It was an injection. Now when we had the engine in, I had all the planning and everything on top. It just didn't look right. Didn't look period correct for the car. So we've opted to go for a carb setup. Now when Moggy was in Auto Jumble, he actually sent me a picture of this adapter plate.
which he bought, which was very kind of him for me. And this is what we're going to use. So this converts the standard inlet to a 4-barrel. Another gift from Moggy. Holly. Now this does need rebuilt, so this will either be sent off or I will have a go myself. Now, I was scouring the tinterwebs the other day, and I did find that they actually did an inlet manifold, because this is obviously not an injection one. This is off of a 2.8 carb engine, which has to be modified to fit to the 2.9s. So that is a good inlet manifold, but they actually do a 4-barrel setup one of these. I found one, it was a lot of money. But for now, we're going to run this one with that set up. Them plates are good, they're ideal. I might have the bottom plate made a bit different for the height and things like that. I have custom done a bonnet. I am going to redo this. Don't like big scoops or anything like that, so I've actually left the backside in, cut down the side, that side and up, so it's just a little scoop. These suffer with heat soak quite a lot, so I wanted to get as much air in, and there might be a chance yet where I have seen it. I don't know if it works. The guy who's done it says it does work fine. He's actually cut some little holes out in his inner wings either side, and you know, like back of computer fans on the towers, he's actually put them in there, so we can, it's got a flick of a switch, it can drag the air out, so it's pulling the air in through, so it's got a sucking fan that pulls the air through the radiator, goes round the engine and until it comes out of the inner wings, which is not a bad idea for when you've got something what shouldn't have that size engine in. The V8s, I don't know if they suffer with heat soak. I don't know a lot about the V8s apart from they're a small block Ford 302, I think they are, as standard. That engine actually has more power than the V8 from standard. Obviously the V8 doesn't take a lot to modify them to get them to scratch. I think a V8 one is like 120 horsepower. That engine is 150 as standard. But obviously we're going carb setup, so who knows. Well, I'm not chasing power, not chasing numbers. This is just going to be my cruiser basically. So once you've got all the inlet and everything what you want, because like I said, this is an injection engine, it shouldn't have carb setup on, so you come on to distributor. Now a lot of you may know, if you know the 2.9 injections, the distributor doesn't look like that. That is a aftermarket AccuSpark distributor, but they don't fit right in, they're not the same. So this is the oil pump shaft drive. This needs to work. You haven't got that, you've got no oil pressure. This goes onto the cam, so as that spins, it spins that, which spins the oil pump. Now this part obviously does not fit, well, the original one to this does not fit into the 2.9, so you have to take this completely to bits. As well as a 2.9 distributor, you basically have to cut the shaft in half. You have to weld and sleeve this bottom section on, so that is actual from like there somewhere, that is 2.9 V6 injection. It does work, we've had it in. I've not actually heard this engine running yet. I bought everything as a mock-up and ended up keeping everything. But yeah, that is all done. Luke actually made all that. And it works. There might be a different way to do it. Don't know. That's the way I've gone. It wasn't as bad as what I thought it was going to be. So, the other thing what Beanhead did while we're just on subject is the steering column. So, original steering column would come to probably somewhere here. This is actual 2 Sunbeam Alpine steering columns, which one's been cut in half and put onto the bottom of the other one. This cap's been made, goes into this knuckle, which goes onto that, which goes down to the rack. That all does work. All I need to do is when I've got the engine back in, I need to weld this bracket on here, just so I know I'm not interfering. There is some more work I need to do in here because it is quite close. It's not as bad now because I did wedge this in, for the reason being, I think when I had the engine in, Oh, that's it. Yeah, so it's all set up. Sorry. So when I last had the engine in, I actually moved this and rammed this in here and bent all these down, ready to weld on these brackets. So I just need to clean the paint off here, weld this bracket on, and I've got plenty of clearance then from there. Then I can rebuild this inner strength part of this back into the chassis, basically. So yes, so it's a V6 with a RX-8 6-speed gearbox behind it. So the other things, what's been, obviously this is the engine. Now this is was a complete engine. The heads have been taken off and sent over to Mr. Vinny. He's currently going through the heads. He did mention that they look like they've been in the ocean. So the original cylinder heads, which are down there, which I'll probably just show you quickly. The reason why I had to change them is because the casting where the exhaust manifold bolts on, it had snapped off on the casting there. And it's just one of them. I've just replace it. This head's good, and you can actually swap them over from side to side. They're not sided. So I have got a spare head there that's got loads of valves and stuff in, which I know is good. I can use that head as spares. So before I bought the cylinder heads, which has gone to Vinny now, I bought some, which I thought was a good idea at the time, Turbo Technic cylinder heads. I'll drop everything. So this is a Turbo Technic one. So there's not really much difference. I thought there was bigger valves, but looking compared to the standard ones, they're not bigger valves. So I thought, when I was originally buying these, I thought, sound, I'll buy these, they'll have bigger valves in and stuff like that. The reason why I can't run it is because this is going on carb, it's naturally aspirated. So if you look here, a lot of the combustion chamber side has been taken out. It's been opened up. If you look to a standard one, there's not much difference, but there is quite a lot what's been taken out. So that has been opened up because obviously turbo, you want lower compression. I think it's that way around, lower compression for turbo vehicles, supercharged, whatever. But anyway, you'll know what I'm on about. So these aren't going to waste, these cylinder heads. They're for the other project. So yeah, so Vinny's got the heads. He's going through them. Now, I've never built an engine before. That engine down there doesn't look bad. When I bought it, apparently it was a 70,000 mile engine. How true it is, I don't know. I've had a look inside, and it doesn't look bad, to be fair. The cylinder walls and things are good. But yeah, ignore all that. That's lube what I've put into it. It doesn't think so. What we're going to do is we're going to strip this down to a bare block. I'm going to give it to Mr. Vin, if he'll allow me. He's going to check everything, including the crank. Whatever it needs, we're going to have it back, and I'm going to attempt to build it. So yeah, that's a rundown of this vehicle. You will hopefully see it on the channel if the channel does well with the Granada. I know the Granada's not really interesting, but it was just a starter vehicle just to see. And I forgot. So while this vehicle was at Luke's, which it went for many reasons, when it went to Luke's, it went for exhaust mitt to be made. So obviously once the engine and everything got mounted, you can't buy exhaust for them off the shelf. I couldn't find a 3-to-1 manifold or anything like that. It's the engine and everything's not meant to be in it, the gearbox is not meant to be in it. And I did want 2 pipes coming out. I didn't want it going into one exhaust and coming out. I wanted each side. So when you're at the back, you can hear the cylinders banging off differently, if you know what I mean. You can hear this bank firing, you can hear that bank firing. Not so it sounds like a V8, because it will never sound like a V8. It's a V6, but just so you get that different sound. So Luke made these. He's a very clever guy. These are all custom made to the car. Obviously the work is absolutely brilliant, outstanding work, and I can actually take these off of the vehicle with everything bolted on, so the engine built up, which is brilliant, because before you couldn't even get a fake paper outside on them. but these, they bolt off. They are on flexes, which I did ask for, and they all clamp on. It did ask me if I wanted, can't remember what they're called now, a thingy band clamp, but I didn't want that. I wanted them to slide in and out and have clamps on, just for the ease of me. So yeah, it's built them two up. Again, that one's slightly different because it goes around different stuff, but the lengths are about the same, I believe he said there was. So it's not too far off. He's also done the exhaust front to back. That's all stainless steel. So yeah, that's that.